to those of you sitting in the front. I will be also pausing from time to time. We do have individuals that are doing translations for us, for our community members. So my name is Keith Ayashi. I'm the State Superintendent for the Hawaii Department of Education. And I want to really thank each and every one of you for coming today. It's very clear that we all are concerned about our students, our children, and what the next steps are for them. And for the department, we share in that. And we're definitely committed to doing the best we can to address the needs of our students. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So thank you for coming to the community meeting. It's an opportunity for us to hear from you, to share with you the most current information that we have that is continually changing at times in this fluid environment. And please know that we care about each of our students as well as for each and every one of you and the challenges that you go through in this very difficult time. So I'd like to take this opportunity to share the most current information that we have with you in terms of reopening our schools. And some of the considerations that we look at and determine to ensure that, number one, our schools are safe for our students and our employees. I'm sorry. So currently, there are a number of factors that we are taking into consideration as we determine whether we can open our schools or not. Air quality is one that is very important, and in partnership with the Hawaii Department of Health, we have installed air quality monitors at each of our campuses. At Princess Nahi'ena Elementary School, at Lāhainā Intermediate School, and Lāhainā Luna High School. And we're also looking to install additional monitors in selected classrooms. We are also working with the county to monitor water quality. We also are, in terms of soil assessments, today is the last day. Our team has been, that we've contracted, a professional organization, that they have been at the 3 campuses Monday, Tuesday, and today to take soil samples at each of the 3 school sites. Those samples, once collected, will be sent to Oahu for processing, and then to the mainland for additional assessments. And those assessments will take several weeks to complete. It's important that we get the full range of data and assessments for soil quality because health and safety is very important. We're hoping everything goes according to plan, and we don't foresee any showstoppers in those three areas. And once deemed safe, well, we will be contracting a professional company to do the cleaning inside and outside of those three campuses. As we did at Kaulite High School, as well as Kulani Hakoi High School. We are also looking at a stability of power on the campus. And that's very important for refrigeration and to ensure that the food that we're going to we provide for students is well maintained. Also, broadband connectivity is very important. We are working with the various providers and agencies to expedite that as quickly as possible. So considering all of that and looking at how long the soil assessments will take, we've tentatively projected that we will be able to, as long as everything goes, as according to plan, and we will be able to reopen our Lāhainā schools, the 3 Lāhainā schools, following fall break. And again, as I shared, we don't foresee any showstoppers, but please know that we are in a very fluid environment and things change sometimes daily. And the Department of Education is working with other agency and other state partners, as well as county and federal organizations. So as for our students and staff at King Kamehameha, the 3rd elementary school, we are looking at temporary facilities at Princess Nahi'ena Elementary School, as well as Lāhainā Intermediate School. We've spent the last 2 days together with our educators and staff from the 4 schools, and we've heard from them loud and clear. That's really important for us to keep our students together as much as possible upon returning to our campuses. So I'd like to thank the educators that joined us on Monday and Tuesday, because they did provide us with very valuable insights, and we heard what they said and what they shared. And so I thank you very much for being here today, because we also need to hear from our parents and from our community, because your voice is critically important. We've also currently, there's approximately 3,000 students in the complex area, and over 1,200 students have currently registered for either distance learning or at one of our other elementary and intermediate and or high schools in Central, South Maui, as well as some students have transferred out of Maui to other schools in the state, and some students have, and families, have moved to the mainland. So it was important for us, for families who moved out of Lāhainā, to be able to enroll their students in the schools that were closest to where they were. And so that has been done and continues for parents and students who would like to continue to enroll in Central or South Maui schools. And we've designated schools that have the capacity to take students because of enrollment. And while some parents may elect to transport their students daily, the department we're also in the process of standing up transportation services for families who elect to enroll students in Central and South Maui schools. We will be providing student transportation. We fully understand that each situation is unique and each situation is very different. And we want to be able to meet each family's unique needs in the best way that we can. And so we continue to look for opportunities in West Maui for our students who elect not to move or to transfer to other schools. We've been very fortunate that we've had many offerings from different organizations and different places and different ideas. And we followed up on each of those leads on the West Maui side. Please. Please also understand, though, that while we really appreciate these offerings, health and safety is very important. It's paramount for our students. And so some offerings we've not been able to follow through with because health and safety is very important. And sometimes the time it may take to stand a program up. So again, we are anticipating and hoping that we don't foresee any showstoppers, and the current assessments that we're doing, environmental assessments, so that we can reopen our Lāhainā schools, and King Kamehameha III students keeping them in Lāhainā at Princess Nahianena and Lāhainā Intermediate, keeping our community together is very important. And so we await those results and hope to get our students back in school after fall break. Again, please remember that things are fluid and change sometimes on a daily basis. But we'll continue to keep our community, all of you, informed of where we are and what the next steps we anticipate moving forward, because that is so important for you to have that information. And so with that, again, I would like to thank you all very much for being here today. And then know that the Lāhainā community, our students and families have the full support of the Hawaii Department of Education. We are here for you. We're with you. And we support you. And with that, I'll open it up to, I believe we have questions.
What about the mental health for our students?
Good question. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. In fact, I forgot to touch on that, so I appreciate you bringing that up. As far as the question is, mental health for our students as well as for our employees is very important. Yes. So, good point. Let me repeat the question. The question is, what about the mental health of our students, our employees, and our families? What kind of supports are in place for us for our families and students and community to be able to access? We have in-person mental health supports, both in Central Maui as well as in South Maui. And that information is, we can get that to you. It is on our website. I know some of you have difficulty in accessing that, but we will get that out, that information out to you. So that's one. Okay. Excuse me? Oh, sorry. There is a flyer related to the mental health services that is provided, and it's out there. In addition to the in-person supports, we do have 24-hour, 7 days a week support through HMSA for our employees, and Hazel Health support for our students. We do have a hotline that you can contact that's manned by our former retired DOE leaders. And so they can, I'm sorry. Those services are available for our employees and our students. And that flyer is at the table, so please, on your way out, pick up one of those and access whatever services that you need. Also, for our students who have returned to school, there are support services and mental health support and counseling available for students who are in school, as well as, We also have consultants here helping us with helping us determine and create a long-term plan for our schools and our students. Okay, we do have in some cards. I know people have written questions. So why don't I do this? Why don't I take a few questions from the audience, and then we'll go to the cards, and we'll come back just to be able to honor everyone's questions.
Of the community have you talked to make these plans that we've made so far?
Great question. Where was the survey 3 weeks ago? Where you had all our information? Where was it before these decisions happened?
As far as the mental health services, those services are put in place.
He's not talking about mental health. He's talking about what?
Okay, let me ask her. Go ahead.
How many of the community has been involved with everything that you said on the news yesterday that you said to us today?
Okay.
How many people were involved from King Kamehameha all the way up to Lāhainā? How many of us parents were involved in these decisions made that was set forth on the news before it was brought to our community? How many
So we did.
conversation?
Okay, so we did talk with our employees, our teachers and staff yesterday, over the last 2 days, to get feedback from them. I did share with them yesterday, based on their feedback to us, and that information was then shared out via news. It's in.
There's a young girl missing mommy and daddy in the back.
Oh, what is she wearing?
What is she wearing, brother?
We have a young girl that's missing mom and dad in the back. You found her. There's a parent of a young girl with, she looks like she has a ponytail with a pink flower in her hair. She's in the back. She's looking for mom and dad. Let me repeat the question. Those on this side are having difficulty hearing. The question was, where were we in making those decisions before we came out to community and gathered community input? Is that correct? I want to be able to paraphrase it correctly.
So
Okay.
which parents in this group of all these many parents across here were involved in the decisions that were made? I get the educators were talked to, but some of these
So-
parents don't have a voice within the education. I'm fortunate I do have a voice within the education, but some of these people, their families are not educators.
Okay, let me repeat that and I'll answer. So the question was, how is it that decisions were made in talking with educators yesterday, and parents and those of you who are not educators are being informed only today? The purpose of today's community meeting is to gain input and insight from you and your questions and your thoughts. The decisions, as I shared also on the news, that the decisions are tentative and they're fluid. And we're trying to provide as many options that's possible within the choices that we have. If there are other thoughts, oh, sorry. If you have thoughts or other concerns, please, I know that this won't be enough time for us to answer all of them, but please write your concerns down so that we do have an opportunity to consider all of them. Now, the plans, the purpose of today's community meeting is to gather input from you, to hear your concerns, and to be able to create a path forward. So after today's meeting, both here and in Central Maui, we'll gather all of that, all of the information and input that we have, and then if we need to make adjustments, we will.
What about all the families here right now that don't want their children on the bus, all the way across here, from all the way over here, all the way over there?
Got it.
My son's in Kamali'i. It's not, we can't even be to him right now. And
Okay.
he's got special needs. We've not spoken about our special needs. We've not spoken about our families. We do not want our children on these buses. We don't want them going through their ashes of all these generations generations. These are human remains.
Okay, let me paraphrase. Okay, let me paraphrase your question. The question is, how are we deciding to transport our students through from West Maui through the devastation area to
And the poly.
and the poly?
That closes down
The-
a lot.
Every day.
Okay, and those, okay, hold on, let me, so we can get through this and be able to answer that, those many concerns that, as we transport students or students are in Central or South Maui, what's being done to provide opportunities for students here in West Maui? Okay, let me get the translation and I'll. While we're translating, I want to be sure those in the back, can you hear? Thank you. We have prioritized as quickly as possible getting our Lāhainā schools open. With that, we also have explored other opportunities that and venue that we might be able to provide learning at. As I shared with it, various leads from different organizations have come forward and they've shared, hey, can you look at this? We have a parcel of land that you might consider. And but when we get there, it's important to have infrastructure facilities, water, bathroom facilities, being able to stand up a facility site, and in an environment that we can keep our students safe. That's really important.
Have we talked to the federal government?
One second.
Mobilize for military and immigrants? We can't mobilize something with an emergency presidential proclamation for the rest of our students?
One second.
Army Corps of Engineers.
Okay, and so a follow-up for that, and then I'm going to go on to another question because I know some of you have your hands up. The follow-up to that was, why aren't we then able to leverage other organizations like the federal government and the Army Corps of Engineers to help stand various things up for us? We have engaged with different organizations, both federal, state, and local, and we continue to explore options that we can provide opportunities for our students safely. Okay, okay. So I'll be with right next. Okay. I want to be sure first. I want to be same question. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, 1 second, sir. Okay, this gentleman right here in the back.
I have a question regarding the air monitoring
Yes.
in Lāhainā. Do you guys have protocols in place for when VOCs, the volatile organic compounds, are above a certain level, will school be canceled? And are these air monitoring devices, are they able to detect all the potentially harmful compounds that our kids could be exposed to? Because right now, it may not be stirred up, but once they start tearing down buildings and stuff, there's every day in Lāhainā, when the landmass heats up, it creates convection and there's an onshore breeze going right up to the high school, right up to the middle school. So I'm just concerned about long-term safety.
Okay. Let me paraphrase for you. Okay, so the question is, how are you monitoring air quality throughout the process once you open schools, especially when the cleanup starts? There's concern about the breezes and the direction that they flow, as well as the different particulates that the air quality sensors are picking up? And do they monitor the correct, are they monitoring correctly those particulates that are concerning for health and safety? Okay. We are working with the Department of Health to determine those air quality monitors that were installed, actually in partnership with DOH. Those air quality monitors were installed, and they will be monitored throughout. The follow-up question was, what if there is a concern and it's the air quality starts to deteriorate? We will monitor that, and we have plans in place if we need to move students out. What we've heard, though, from our teachers, and I'm thinking also from many of you, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, that there was a need to bring our students back and keep them in Lāhainā. So for those, one second. So for those, our school facilities, sorry. Sir, I'm gonna go there and then see you, okay?
Respectfully, you're stopping and pausing to translate for one person. Respectfully, there are a group of people that don't understand languages, but you're pausing for that one individual. Respectfully.
There's translations around the different places.
We also have sign language and a number of translators here right now.
So, yeah, so what we'll do though is if we don't get to your question, we will be sure to respond back to you based on what your question, what that you provided to us, okay? So it will be ongoing, sir. Okay, one second. I know there's several hands going up. So there's a question in the back, in the red, and then this gentleman in the front. Okay?
Before we move on, yeah, I'm also an educator for my son's program and business coordinator. What I don't want to miss is that
Okay.
how many parents are with being on campus only because our kids are going to be shuttled there every single day, having to see this devastation. I am for it being in a different place, in a different area, on this side, where our kids are safe. That quality is going to change.
So ma'am, okay. So let me answer that quickly, and then I want to be able to that. When people are raising their hand, it's really important that we follow hands that's going up. I'm doing my best to look in the order. So let me answer that real quick, ma'am. Okay, but if we can continue to raise our hands, that would be great. So then I'll go back to the lady in the red and this gentleman in the front, and then we'll continue, okay? As far as sites on West Maui, we are, as I shared, we are following up on every lead that we have that can accommodate our students. And if we're looking at the number of students that prior to school starting, that was 3,000 students in the Lāhainā schools. Okay, and so that is a large number of students to find a facility to house. Okay, ma'am, in the back. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. I'll get to hotels. Ma'am, in the back, I want to honor you. Go ahead.
Why haven't student voices been involved in the conversation thus far? It is our education and our future being at stake.
The question, let me paraphrase that. The question is, why haven't student voices been heard? Because, I don't want to be sure now I get it right, yeah? Well, why haven't our student voices been heard? Because it's their education. Okay, thank you. That's a very good question. Okay, we did reach out to our educators, reaching out to parents and community. We definitely can do something. It's important to hear our student voices. Okay, so we will plan on that, something on doing that next. Okay. Okay, sir, go ahead.
Sorry for insist, but if we sign for our kids and the other side, how you provide transportation, because many families lose the car
you get how transportate the kids over there? How?
Okay, thank you. The question was, many families have lost their transportation. They've lost their cars. And so how are families expected to transport students over to Central and West Maui? Okay, so the department, we are standing up student transportation at different sites that we'll be determining. And then, so as students go there, we will pick them up. We will have support personnel on the bus for students. Okay, so it's not just the driver, but it's important to address the concern about as students move from west to Central or South Maui, that we have support adults personnel on the bus. So we'll have them on the bus too. We'll transport students to Central or South Maui, and then at the end of the day, pick them up and bring them back to West Maui.
When is that expected?
Annette, thank you. Okay, hold, 1 second. The question that was asked was about hotels. Okay, and the hotels have, I think I heard somebody say hotels have ballrooms. Okay, we have reached out to and followed up on the leads of different places, including hotels, that have reached out. Okay, or people have reached out to us and said, can you consider this place or this place? And we've reached out to them. Okay, and if the feedback to us was, yes, we can do it, we would explore that. Okay, so that definitely has been considered.
Okay, for me, I didn't say. You said,
Yeah.
I think this is like the state.
Okay, hold on, 1 second. Let's do this. Okay, we have people have their hands up. I want to be sure that we're following, and I know you have a concern, and that you also have a concern, but all of these folks are raising their hands. Okay, so let's go around. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I think this young gentleman first in the back with the red shirt.
What about if there's an accident with the buses and the parents still have transportation to come home?
Good question. The question from this young man was, what happens if we're transporting students and there's an accident on the buses and the parents don't have transportation to pick them up?
On the poly if there's an accident.
On the poly, which is always said.
Okay, thank you. Let me do my best to answer. Okay, that was a question. Thank you. As in any situation, we will do our best if there is any kind of an accident to inform parents and to make the decisions that are in the best interest of the health and safety of students. Okay. Okay. Thank you. The follow-up question was, when will those buses start? We are working with the school principals to determine when that's going to start. So hopefully, relatively soon, within the next couple of weeks. And the thank you. And okay, hold on, ma'am. Now, what about the question was, what about the transportation? Also, there are forms that you've been filling out. It's important that if you do want transportation or requesting transportation, that you fill that out so we can be sure that your child is counted. Okay. I think this lady here in the front, and then the gentleman in the back, and then the lady with orange.
So my question is involved your guys' communication with the community here.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
My question involves the communication that we've been getting from the DOE. On August 12th was our last email of any sort of information we received from the DOE stating, get your kids in another school. From August 12th till now, we've heard nothing.
yeah, I know.
Now you're telling us, now we're coming over here, we're giving our emails, we're giving our support. You already have all our emails. You can email us and we can answer questions. It's kind of like, what are we doing here? Are you really listening? Is anyone really listening?
Yeah, I know.
The question is,
Why have we received no communication, not one thing? We get furious when we're not not being communicated with.
We had our own meeting that we submitted forms to. I don't know these forms with these questions that we are referring to. I never received a survey from the
Nobody's
DOE.
received anything.
Okay, so the question is, related to communication, why haven't we received any communication since August 18th, August 12th, in terms of information or feedback or communication to parents? Okay, we have been providing, I believe, information. Hold on 1 second, please. Now we cannot discuss.
I know, but you have all our emails.
Okay, 1 second. In terms of, well, hold on, everybody, please. Okay, Principal Kanamori is going to try to answer that question.
Hi, everybody. So a lot of questions in regards to communication. We're definitely working with the state in terms of providing that information out to our families. Different schools do different things. For instance, my school, we do Seesaw. We also do School Messenger. A lot of times we notice midway through that our students and our families weren't, or even our teaching staff, our EAs, our custodians weren't even getting our messages due to the fact that there was no internet access out here. So we actually had to shift gears in order to provide information. So you may have received text messages. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. So you may have received text messages. You may have seen it shifted from email to my recorded voice to text messages. And that's just for Princess Lāhainā, and I know the other schools were communicating via School Messenger as well. Oh, and school website, sorry.
Okay, I forgot the, okay, I think it was it the gentleman with the hat? I'm sorry, man. A little louder.
It's been 3 weeks. That kids have been out of school for 3 weeks. Most things it's going to be another couple of weeks.
40 days. 40 days till the end of fall break.
Whole break. Like when?
And who determined that date?
This is not Annie's complaint, not communication. So I've been trying to contact the principal.
Okay, the question. Let me let me follow up. Let me do the follow up. Okay. The question. Let me paraphrase that. Let me know if I'm missing something. The question was, when after fall break are students going to be returning? Because it's been a while. It's been weeks since our students have been in school. Okay. Is that the gist of the question? Thank you. Okay. So we are looking when we return back from. Once fall break is completed, that return week is what we're looking at, returning students to school right after fall break. Okay, again though, please know that it's fluid, and you may be thinking, well, he keeps saying that, but because it really is. And but that's where we're anticipating the return after fall break. Okay, the week after. Okay. Then the follow-up question to that was. I'm sorry, ma'am. I forgot the follow-up question.
Like you just say everything's fluid, like
No. What was the follow-up question after the question about fall break?
Those satellite schools open like Lāhainā for the high school and When is that going to open?
Okay, great. Okay, the follow-up question was for that high school in Kihei, when is that going to open? And I'm thinking, okay, Mr. Principal Caruso.
Thank you everyone for coming. I really do appreciate it. I have no words for the heartbreak and sorrow that you're going through. And I understand your frustration and your anger. It is absolutely justified. I know that. I can't imagine, and I know that. the solution that we have is not ideal. It is not what I want. It's not what you guys want. But I need.
Be respectful. What is your problem?
My goal is to have kids and to provide them in-person education. That's what I can focus on. I want kids back on our campus. I want them up there. I want them wherever we can have them. There could be long-term solutions somewhere else, but the best option for the very short term is to stay as Lāhainā High School and to go utilize the campus at Kalaniakoi. And there are numerous of our students who are at Maui High and Baldwin who want to join us at Kalaniakoi. It's not ideal. It's not what I want. It's not what anybody wants. But right now, in order to provide in-person education for our students, that I have to accept that as the best option for right now. Now, hopefully, oh, sorry. Hopefully, if logistics, plans, and all sorts of variables work out, we are looking at September 14th as the first day we can go there. And then hopefully being there for that 3 weeks and a couple of days. We need to get our seniors back on track to graduate. We need to get them SATs. We need to get our athletes back doing what they do. We need to get our band back. I can't wait to hear the band play again. All the things you want are what everybody up here wants. And we are honestly working our hardest to make that happen. That is the date goal that I have. I cannot promise that date, but that is the date I believe we can start there, hopefully for 3 weeks and 2 days, and then come back here right after fall break.
What about the online being full?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've been pretty patient. Okay. Yeah. I just passed. But in regards to that same question.
So this gentleman is next, and then the lady in the orange.
Okay, to address and we do recognize there is a wait list. We had 400 applicants for the program, and so they are in the process of hiring additional teachers to serve those 400 students and ordering the equipment. The equipment has been ordered, so as soon as we can get the teachers on board, we can start taking in applications for that wait list. Okay. I'll take the question here from the gentleman standing up, and then in the green shirt in the very back. Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, before we ask a question, if you could help, sir, it's very helpful that you're standing. So when, if you're sitting, if you could stand and ask the question, and if you'd like to, what school your child's at. Thank you.
Okay, the lady on the side in the orange shirt. Okay, go ahead.
So my question is, and my sympathies to everybody, because I know we're all going through this. We got 3,000 students displaced. Logistically, just putting up a campus is not going to solve the problem. Has there been any thought or consideration to a more, I'm going to use the word fluid because it's being thrown around all over the place here, a more fluid educational process like they do where 2 days of online learning or 3 days of online learning and then 2 days on campus, so logistically you can shift and pivot kids through classrooms so they can get some sort of continuity and back into the educational process.
Okay. So the question was, can we have a hybrid model of returning where some days the students will be online, some days the students will be in class, and then there is a rotation. That is an option that we are exploring as we try and determine all of the options that we can make available to all of our families.
Just to kind of add on, piggyback on that, we are working with our providers to get our connectivity back up. Right now, the main fiber has been damaged, and so as you all well know, the connectivity to internet and such is not at a place, it is not robust enough for us to operate a full distance learning program. And so we are struggling with that. I'll be honest, because of accessibility to the network. Okay, when I say robust, I mean having enough broadband to be able to run that online. Okay, I know this lady right here with the orange. You've been waiting very patiently.
So my question has been kind of asked already, but as you have mentioned, as we all know, that West Maui families have endured enough already. Education or in-person learning for our kids should not come last. These shared options that you've come up with, and one of them, the best solution that you provided us with, is shipping or busing our kids to and from the other side. There's a lot of families like myself who both parents still work and live in Lāhainā, and we don't plan on leaving Lāhainā. What are the options that you're doing for families like mine? You're talking about exploring options, talking about working with hotels. You've never shared what the outcome was with all of these things that you're working with or things that you've explored. How will give us more concrete responses to our concerns?
The question is, our students and families live in the west side in Lāhainā, and while both parents also work on the west side, it is not an option for some families to have their students transported to Central or South Maui while families live here. And that we've shared that there are options that we've explored, but the question specifically is to hotels, and we haven't provided concrete information related to the outcome of discussions, for example, with hotels. Okay, so for hotels, some of the concern has been the liability for young students being on property with guests, adult guests on property. Okay, and so that, again, the safety is very important for our students, and that's a concern that's brought up. And so from there, that's the concrete information related to hotels. Okay, I think Heidi, you called. Okay, one second. We'll get to this line. I just want to be sure we're taking care of those that we already identified.
Where's our state rep? I know he's here. Why is he
Okay, hold on, ma'am. Okay, sir in the back with the green shirt, and then we'll go to the folks here.
Let Justin come up. Justin's right here. Get on up here.
Okay, sir, go ahead. Excuse me, can we have, I just need to be able to hear the question. So, you know, everyone has been very respectful of each other, which is great. Okay, let's just continue that. Okay, ma'am, just a minute, ma'am. Okay, let me just honor the gentleman in the back. Sir, go ahead.
First, again, I know everybody's trying. I'm a little confused on the 40 days from now being fall break. If we're going to possibly start, I know Mr. Rosen said it's fluid, I get that. September 14th. Between September 14th and fall break, what measure do we need to start on fall break? First of all, why is there a fall break? Second, could it be sooner? And what is it you're waiting for? Why October 10th? What's going to happen between October 10th that's going to change your mind?
Okay, so to paraphrase the question is from now until after fall break, October 10th. Why are we waiting so long for that to happen? And what are we considering? Okay, that's a great question. When we look at the soil sampling, as I shared, the soil is being collected. Today is the last of 3 days. From there, it is sent over to Honolulu, Oahu, to be analyzed and processed, and then it's shipped to the mainland to be processed. My understanding is that once it's at the mainland and they start that processing cycle, what they're looking for is something called dioxins. And the dioxin takes 15 working days for it to be completed. And for what is really important for us is that we get the full range of information from those test results, so that we make a determination. We're making the determination with all of the information for the health and safety of our students. And that's why it's taking that long for us to be able to reopen, to consider reopening.
Why not just 2 weeks then?
Just a minute, ma'am. Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, my question is, for your reopening, the main thing is health and safety for the kids. My question is, I'm sorry, I'm yelling up.
Does it reach?
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, my question is, for health and safety of our kids that you guys are claiming is the reason why we gotta wait, which is understandable. But I kind of question that because I live right below the school and our house never burned. You know, I'm sorry to everybody that had to go through that. But my question is, why are we still living in these unsafe conditions with our kids until you guys decide to open up? If you guys not sure it's safe for them, why is it safe for him to be home with me every damn day and breathing everything? And we don't have water, you know? Who is monitoring that for us? You know, maybe you guys can reopen, but are we gonna be safe till then? You know? Think about that and talk to FEMA because they're not helping us either. Talk to Red Cross. They tell us they're not going to help us either. If your house never burned, you don't get help. Yeah, so you guys need to, but my hope is you guys are going to reach out to the people that can help, the bigger organizations in this world because we do need help. We obviously went through a lot. We cannot continue this anymore. You guys need to reach out. Don't be ashamed. Ask. Because we are asking and we're not getting any help. Okay?
Yes, but with all due respect, if the federal government comes in to help us, we cannot ask them to leave. With all due respect. When they show up to help us, all of these programs, yes, so we need them to come over here.
I mean, this is out of our hands.
Okay, so the question is, can you turn this up a little bit? Okay. Okay. The question is, there are, if we're considering, the DOE is considering the safety requirements that we're considered to reopen the Lāhainā schools, and there are some homes that are below the Lāhainā schools that were not damaged. The question was in relation to the those same indicators that we're looking at the school. And what is the department doing to support the homes and those residents, as well as how are we not holding FEMA and American Red Cross accountable for supporting families? And then there was another comment that was made that is it the which is the larger organization? Okay, basically. Okay, so in the scheme of things, FEMA is a federal organization, and the Department of Education is a state organization. We do work as best we can together, and we do have calls that we engaged in regularly, almost daily, and there are many people and organizations trying to help. Okay, the department though is not in a position, and we'll relay the concern definitely. Okay, we'll relay those concerns, but we wouldn't be in a position to be able to tell other organizations and question what they're doing, but we will definitely raise that concern to the appropriate persons. Go ahead, sir.
So actually this parent brought up special education, and like there is no discussion about the special needs kids, because I actually have a friend who I've worked with, and he needs in-home services, and that happened before the fire, and now he's displaced in a hotel. Like, are we doing anything for him? What about all the kids that are on this side, and they have their own separate bus that they take to school? Like, what are we gonna do for the special needs kids? And I'm sorry for not including all the other kids, but it's very disrespectful to not include them in this discussion as well, and to totally just push her question to the side, because I know she brought that up. And it was not discussed, and I work with them as well.
Thank you for that, and I apologize if I didn't answer the question. It wasn't deliberate, disrespectful. Thank you for raising it. Heidi Armstrong is our deputy superintendent in terms of academics and curriculum and special education, and those services fall under her realm.
Yes, and special education absolutely must be included as we consider all of these moves, whether it's to different schools or different locations, or if appropriate, through distance learning. If you have specific questions, and we are working with our schools and our complex area staff, so as we gradually begin to reopen, special education is absolutely a priority and a discussion at the table. But I do know that there are individual parents have individual questions about their own child, and I would appreciate it if you could write that on a paper, just a summary with your contact information, so we can be sure to reach out to you to address any immediate needs that you have.
So before she leaves today, give you a piece of paper?
Yes, before you leave today, any parent who has a child with special needs, if you can give me your contact information, we will be sure to reach out to address any immediate needs as we continue the conversations for all students, including special education and our English learners moving forward.
Thank you. Okay.
So I'm trying to give grace to the DOE. I know you guys have had some tremendous growing pains, and this is bigger than you. It's our state. We've had very limited resources for our keiki on the west side. We are displaced. We're staying in Kihei. Those parks are amazing. We all know the kids have very, very limited resources here. The few that they did have got wiped out. So for me, this is the state allowing the developers to take over. There's no other options. The fact that we are searching for hotels as an option is sad. It's very sad. The tourists don't want our kids there. We know that. That's not even an option. I'm sorry, I wish it was. And the vast majority of the population left on the west side is up north. And you want the rest of the population that's doing their best to carry on to go through Lāhainā in a dangerous zone. We need a school up here for the kids. Temporary, I don't care. But this is the state that needs to step up and buy land, lease land, rent land. Peter Martin, these big developers, I don't need to pick on him, but he's a big name.
Ask state rep right there, Justin, can you
We
answer
need
some of these questions?
people to, this is the
What
state.
are we doing at a state level? Could you come up and maybe sit down and let her finish? No, this is like your 14th question. Let her
Okay, if we can hold, the side conversations, thank you.
Hello, Kako. Thank you. First and foremost, thank you all for being here, taking time out. You know, we all together are hurting. There's frustration, there's sadness, and there's loss. So we're going through a process, but let us not let go of the light. Let's all continue to lift each other up and to be there for one another. And so, as to your question regarding the state is working collectively with the federal government and the county and the Department of Education and Health. We are all working through all these solutions. We are, in fact, looking at land. We're looking at commercial space. We're looking at other opportunities to get kids back into an environment that's safe for learning. But it's important that we do it right. We have to make sure that the soil is proper, it's safe. So just, it's not meant to be interactive, but I'm just gonna respect the add-on. She's asking about finding alternate sites on the west side. And so if I wasn't clear, I apologize. But when I say that we're looking for alternatives, I mean that we are looking for alternatives for the families here, for their kids to go to school here on this side, because that is what we're hearing is the overwhelming desire. even with the Keiki and their families that are going to school elsewhere, Central, South, they want to come back to the West Side. We all know that, we all feel that. And so we are working on solutions that will afford that. So please know that we're working hard. Like it was said before, it's not ideal where we are in this time event. But we're working hard, we're working together. We want to make sure that we do things right. So I understand, I feel your frustration. I'm frustrated too. There is loss, deep loss, property and loved ones. But let us try to work together to get to where we need to be as quickly as possible. And so you've heard some of the timelines. We're going to try to get there sooner than later.
Thank you. I just want to add, I just like to add that Representative Woodson is the education chair, and he is, I can tell you, he is very much advocating for all of you with the department, and so his voice is being heard loud and clear to us. Okay, so thank you.
Hi, so it was said that the educators yesterday and the day before, do I need to hold it differently? Move up? Sure. Back up? Oh yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So I'm a teacher. We did find out this same information yesterday. And I just want to let you all know, as a teacher, we and a parent of 3 children, 2 at Kamehameha III, 1 at Lāhainā. A lot of the teachers shared 2 concerns. 1, we don't want to bus our kids to the other side, far away from us, brush fire on the poly, whatever. 2, I don't feel safe putting my daughter back at the school, even if the government says the air is safe. And what I do in my class is I try to give my students a voice and choice. So we do a vote. So my question is to all of you, how many of you feel comfortable if they say it's safe in 2-3 weeks going back on campus there? My suggestion is to come up with an alternate site. Keep trying. Don't give up. It's not unsafe and mentally, having to see all that here or the other side. There can be a third option. We need the state's help. We need financial help. And I'm just curious, what everybody thinks here. Can we take a vote?
The absence of vote, I will tell you that we are definitely committed to address your concern, ma'am. And we will hear you, I think, loud and clear, that we need to look for an alternative site on the west side. Okay, and so for our students at King Kamehameha III, we will do our best, our darndest to try and make that a reality, okay? But please, give us some grace. We are really trying. We hear your concerns, and we'll do our best to move that forward. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. Before we move here, ma'am, I know you're holding your child. I'll let you ask the next question. Because she's been standing for a while and she has her hand up. So, ma'am, go ahead. Oh, no, don't run.
Sorry, my hand was raised before this and I was fluidly formed. Thank you. So, my question is, of course, we're going back to this, Mr. Hayashi, Superintendent. What is your power? What is the reason we're all here today? I'm a parent of a freshman who was supposed to start Lāhainā on no, I'm good. I'm good, thank you. On Tuesday, of course, right? I was freshman's first day, Tuesday. Anyways, I was not aware of any updates via email. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I got a lot on my mind. But anyways, what is your purpose? What is your goal? What are you gonna do for us? My family are still here on this side. We're good, we're together. I'm not sending my student, and he doesn't wanna go either to the other side. God forbid there's another fire. My family already been through 2 fires. 2018 was our first one. Nothing was done. My mother-in-law, Yolanda Dyson, asked for help. Nothing was done. Now this catastrophe. If she was alive, she'd be so heartbroken and devastated. Nobody helped us. What are you gonna do? I want answers. We all want answers. You keep going back to the health, the safety. You guys had 3 weeks already to do the soil. What happened? You guys could have done the soil 2 weeks ago. Our students want to go back to school. They want to go back. And everybody's on this side. Figure something out. I don't care about the developers. Nobody cares about them. It's our students, it's their education, it's their life. A lot of them have lost their friends, their cousins, their aunties, their uncles, their grandparents. What more are you gonna put us through? You're a superintendent, are you not? So what is your power? What are you gonna do for us? Hold on. Secondly, transportation going on the other side. Whose idea was to do that? None of our parents here was ever voiced. Nobody ever had any input about this decision made 2 days ago. Nobody discussed anything with the parents. There was nothing, no transportation, no communication, nothing. I get it. Then going back again, you guys had 3 weeks to do something about the air, the soil, the water. Lāhainā Luna High School was never touched. Lāhainā Intermediate was never touched. Princess Nahianera was never touched. If the soil is an issue, it should have been done 2 weeks ago. If the water was an issue, get water buffaloes. They have 6,000 gallons that they can hold, 10,000 gallons. Set it up. Air purifiers, get it in place. You know, students have to, don't rush me. Please respect me. I waited for 10 minutes holding my hand up, holding my baby. So please respect my time. I just want answers like we all do. You keep going back. Oh, we have options. Oh, we're gonna discuss it later, this, and that. Nothing was ever discussed with any of us. That's why we're here. We were thinking our opinions would matter. Come to find out, hour in, nothing matters to you. And you're not listening. You're not listening. You're taking it in, but you're not listening. What are you gonna do? That's my real response to you. What are you gonna do? I want our students back in school where they belong, of course. Families, of course, there's no normalcy anymore. Can never get back to what it was before, but we can try. 3 weeks in, what have you guys been doing? Seriously. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. You know, we do care. We do. And I understand the frustration. I really do. And you're here because you care about your children. You care about the Lāhainā community. And we do too. And, you know, if the question deals with why weren't things done sooner, you know, if we could go back and do it again, you know, we would make perhaps different decisions. And so I apologize for that. I am here though today to genuinely hear your concerns as you've been sharing and taking them in. And I would tell you they will be considered and part of the process that we have in moving forward. I hear the frustration. I haven't experienced what you're experiencing as I shared with the teachers. And so I can't imagine what it's like to be in your shoes. I can't. But know that we will do our best in moving forward to make those decisions, to support your students, to support you and this Lāhainā community. I think a lot of the concerns that we're hearing and the questions we're hearing are very consistent, you know, and consistent today as well as the last 2 days. So I do hear you. Okay, and please know that we will take that and decisions moving forward, we will do the best we can to incorporate your concerns and address them. Thank you, ma'am. Your question.
So I don't have a question, but I have some information that I would like to share with all of you. I made a promise to all of the people that I've been contacting at the hotels that I would share with you their concern and their love. I started speaking to the hotels the Monday after the fire because while I had the absolute luxury to keep my home, I did not have to think about the safety for my child. But the first thing I thought of the day after the fire was, what is going to happen to our keiki? What's going to happen with school? So my thoughts went immediately there, and I started thinking, we need to get temporary school space available. I started speaking to the hotels. Over 2 weeks ago, they were ready to accommodate us. They had not heard from, anybody from Board of Education or Department of Education at that time. So they were needing to wait to get information. I, like everyone, was down internet, down cell service. I didn't have a way to get information to the Department of Education. The hotels reached out, did not hear back, some of them. This isn't to incite anger, I'm just providing information. Unfortunately, and fortunately, 4,000 displaced community members have been moved into various hotels. With that, in their ballroom space, services have been set up. Doctors, food services, mental health counseling. So they are now occupying those ballroom spaces that they could have put some of our children in, if not all, 2 weeks ago. There may be some that we can move into, so I've just been speaking to Kaanapali properties. But something that they also want you to be aware of is because there's so many moving parts that depend upon one solution being taken care of, is we have already previously houseless individuals that have moved into those locations from not only Lāhainā, but are now coming from other parts of the island because they know they can get these services that the rest of our displaced families are getting. And with those individuals, a lot of times come additional challenges and safety concerns because of mental and alcohol and drug incapacity problems. I'm sorry, I'm lost for word on that. I'm trying to be sensitive and not generalize and stereotype that every single person that was houseless before this have those issues. But that does come with an additional concern. And these resorts would like to work with the federal government to be able to reorganize and streamline some of those individuals to one facility or another so that then we can safely have children have satellite classrooms within their ballroom space. But they need help from other government and other services to make that happen. That's the message they wanted me to get out to you from the resorts and the operation management that I spoke to in Kaanapali, is that they want to help, they're here to help, but they have to wait for some other things to clear up first so that then we can have temporary satellite classrooms to get us through the next 40 days. So, you know, putting pressure on our federal government, who the best they can do, I guess, is 2.5 months to help us get our kids back into school and whether it's safe or not. But we also need to, as a community, put effort into helping clear up some of the other obstacles that could allow us to open satellite classrooms. That's the message they wanted me to get out. I made that promise to them. They've been so kind and gracious to answer questions to try, and they just asked that I pass that along. So it was more information.
Ma'am, if you can, thank you. What we need is the names of the hotel, any contact information that you have, we'll be sure to follow up.
Hello, my name is Rhonda Colleen Polly. I'm the wife of Reuben Polly, founding member of Maui Music Mission, and speaking as a concerned citizen today. We run the after-school program. Most of our students came from Kamehameha Third School, and one of the reasons for that is that it's impossible to get up to Princess. So I just want to bring to light this fact. They've had 175 years to build a fire escape and evacuation plan. I thank God that our kids were not in school that day, and that all of you are alive today to be here, to voice your concerns. So please speak up. Second, I want to mention, this is the second DOE meeting that I've been to, and time was not set aside to hear the parents. The last one I was at was the questions, almost 100% came from Kai Apuni with legitimate concerns about being ignored. And it was said we're going to set aside other agenda items because they had not allocated time. And the same is true here. They have 2 meetings scheduled on Maui for 2 hours here and 2 hours on the other side. And you see the turnout and the number of questions. We need more time. We need more frequent visits and more opportunities to speak what we need to say.
Thank you. I'm a parent of a 3rd grader at CAM 3. And when I look around here today, I don't just see that our education of our children is the only problem. I see West Maui's workforce sitting here missing work for this. And some people are lucky to still have our jobs, but we're worried because school, honestly, is also our main source of childcare. And we won't both be able to work if one of us has to be home with our child, even to do a hybrid option. We won't be able to pay our mortgage if we can't both work. So there's a looming crisis, I believe, if we don't address the schooling from a childcare perspective as soon as possible, because the hotels, at least the one I work for, is poised to reopen in October, and we have no solution in place for us. So what I also see here are plenty of people who would volunteer to stand security around a facility if you needed it secured. So show us where to sign up.
Hi. I think it was made clear at the BOE meeting last week that the only solution is to keep the kids out here north. So I think that you guys need to go back to the drawing board, pretend that the other side of the island is not even an option, okay? You need to house our kids in this disaster zone. And where? Up here north somewhere. How do you deploy that and mobilize that immediately? We can put up tents like this in 1 to 2 weeks, 50 or 100 tents for the Maui Fair, 50 to 100 porta potties, hand wash stations, buffaloes. You keep saying health and safety for our children. We have said to the Board of Education that in order to keep our kids safe and healthy and take care of their well-being, nothing is going to work for them unless they are schooled out here. So whatever options you are thinking you're exploring on that side, stop, okay? This is a disaster zone. Get the kids under something like this. If you have to lower your health and safety standards, obviously you can't treat it the same as having 4 walls in a school, okay? We have to lower it a little bit, still keep them safe, obviously, but can they be safe and healthy under a tent like this, okay? Can they be safe and healthy with the community members that are going to volunteer to be there and help to support? Are we willing to use porta potties for the time being? Yeah. I mean, we are people of Lāhainā here. We know how to rough it in Lāhainā. We are the red-headed stepchildren, okay? But please, this health and wellness, health and safety, that's just a tagline to be safe. I understand that. But really, what does that mean? How can we still be healthy and safe here, up north in West Side? That is the only way that you are going to get 3,000 keiki into school. The high schools, I understand, there's credits. The intermediate, I understand. There's credits that you have to take care of. There is standardized testing. We need to get our keiki ready to take the next step. The younger kids, social and emotional well-being is the only concern right now. I don't need them to know math and science, maybe a little PE, take them down to the beach, teach them about their place? That's all we need right now. Pull back on your standards. Cut the red tape, okay? Pretend like the rest of the island got destroyed too. So how do we take care of the 3,000 students in this disaster zone? And how do we do it quickly? These guys that have these tents, they're not holding weddings. There's no big events going on. Utilize this. They say the DOE has tents like this that have walls and AC and flooring and all of that. Mobilize it quickly. It should have already, if you have that, it should have already been on this island. The private schools, they have ability to leverage their wealth and get extra services. We can start with this for 2 weeks, and then we can move to portable structures when it gets here. But we need to start somewhere, and that somewhere is in Lāhainā, Northwest Maui only.
I am a teacher at Lāhainā High School. I can teach in this building.
So that's what when community speaks, that's the true voice right there. That is the voice of our community. So here's a few more questions that I have. So what are you doing to protect those kids who are enrolled in other schools and are continuing to get bullied? So this parent right here asked that question. Okay. So another question is, we have many military veterans that are among our community that has set up tent and internet and bathrooms for our families that are, far away in other countries. And my last question is to you, okay? You stated special education, yeah? What about Kaiapuni? I flew to Honolulu to sit with the Board of Education, and not once did anybody say anything about Kaiapuni. Look around. There's parents out here that are Kaiapuni, but we always get forgotten. Always get forgotten. Not only the west side, but we always get forgotten as Olelo, Hawaii. So, what are we doing about that?
And we may not have spoken publicly about Kaipuni, and I apologize for that, but we do have our Kaipuni teachers working together from the schools that have been impacted to come up with alternative solutions to help them move forward as a Kaipuni community. So they have been meeting during the week. They just met this last weekend, and they will continue to meet to come up with plans to serve the children that are in their classrooms. So it has been an ongoing discussion, but I do agree we have not shared that publicly.
About Kaiapuni, we will work with our Kaiapuni teachers, and we'll get an update out. We will work together with them, and we will get an update on where we are with Kaiapuni. Thank you. Okay, I will get it out to you. Yeah. Okay. And I want to also get your other questions answered. You talked about students being bullied at other schools, right? Okay. We need to know bullying is not tolerated in the department. So I just need to be sure. Okay. So I just need, let me answer, please. So I want to be sure that if parents here have students who are being bullied at any school, please talk to either Heidi Armstrong, or if it's on other schools on Central Maui or South Maui, Complex Area Superintendent Sides is here. I need to know the specifics, please, on the name of the student being bullied and what is happening in that situation, so that we can get that resolved, because that is not acceptable at all. Thank you. and that will also, we're working all together with our consultants. That's part of the long-term plan. But long-term, short-term, bullying is not acceptable, period. Okay, so please, see Heidi Armstrong, and we can get that information. Thank you very much. Okay. Sure. Yeah, you can.
I'm sorry. My name is Melissa Breimer. I'm Dr. Melissa Breimer. I'm with the National Child Traumatic Stress Network. Part of the reason why I'm here and a colleague is here is that we are wanting to work with the state across the island and across all the islands to make sure that there's a mental health plan that is for your teachers, for your students, and for you as parents. Part of what we've done in other disasters is bullying is actually a thing we've seen. We are going to be working with your school-based mental health teams across the island to make sure there's the training, there's the support, and the guidance so that they can support in their buildings to what enhances connection and making sure that belongingness happens. So there's that unity at this moment, and also providing those supports that they're needing. Those are all part of the planning that's happening from the mental health side. It's happening now. We're here and we're doing it. We're actually tomorrow is our first coaching session with school-based mental health across the island, and that will be continuing weekly, and it will be updating it and advancing it as we hear from them. It's tomorrow starting.
Whole balancing is small kind spicy. Sorry. Sorry, small kind nervous. But my name is Ola Shaw. My friends know me as. But we were right off the bat. We were one of the community organizations that came together and did put together proposals to help with this school crisis and just everything. We have a lot of people here. Like, how many teachers are here right now? Right? Choke. We got a doctor right here. This is echoing what Tita in the pink shirt and the Lahaina Luna teacher said. There is a lot of land up here. We've put together plans for portables, for bathrooms, things that don't take a lot, The biggest thing is we have other organizations also that are ready to step in, but we need the Department of Education's blessing on that because it's all of your kids, and we're happy to. And I don't know there's places like Hawaii Technology Academy. They're a charter school that's still funded by the state. They don't have the same red tape that you guys do. If they were allotted the land and the time, they could still do a program. There's tons of Kanaks in here who build, right? You guys build, right? We got people that, like everybody was saying, that we can provide internet easily for you. There's generator power. There's all kinds of things that people that want to donate their time. So those plans are out there. All of these teachers for 40 days, they could be already teaching our kids in conjunction with people like, Hawaii Technology Academy or these different cohorts. There's a group of 20 people that have been pushing and doing the best we can to teach the kids right now with other types of curriculum. But if we had the help of the Department of Education, it could go much further and much quicker.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone.